welcome back to the drawing challenge. We are on week 3 and today we're starting on day 13. It was a master study this time for Rembrandt, a highly admired Baroque painter and one of my personal favorites. His artworks have a high contrast between light and shadow with minimal color variation and details in the background to give the subject full attention and the full spotlight. I would like to point out that I will be paying attention to his midlife and late life pieces rather than his earlier pieces, since I prefer the emotional expression more, and the streaks are more softer, like an artist losing focus with their vision, and the anguish that's found in these later pieces, I feel like is better for what I'm trying to produce today. I also tried mimicking the impasto technique, where paint is applied on the same surface over time to build texture and to make stuff stand out. Meaning, I didn't use a lot of layers. And one more thing, the linen woven canvases that he used kind of reminded me of the pixel resolution that's in digital artworks. The more finely woven, the higher resolution the painting is. As for Heilbrunn, I utilized the chiaroscuro method, where lighting is dramatic, yet minimal, and also only on the subject. The background was really fun, yet tricky, because I wanted the bars to look like metal bars, and I used some oil pens and oil paints to mimic the drawing oils that Rembrandt used. When I posted, one of my friends pointed out there was an issue with the proportion, and I look to improve this in the future because this is one of the things I really need to look at. Anyways, here it is, day 13, Heilbrunn. Before we begin, I would like to mention that I have not seen a single episode of Miraculous. Alright, we got that out of the way. For day 14, we're going to be doing a little bit of a redraw. So I'm just drawing over some pre-existent memes and photos. I have a couple more prompts that will make me do this, but this is one of the first ones. It's a very simple drawing for honey, and I was pretty busy with other things, so thank goodness this happened. The drawing was relatively simple, as I've mentioned before, and I enjoyed drawing the hands, even though I need to improve it, and I was able to experiment with some shading techniques and filters and some poses, if you want to put it that way. Finally, I used a simple speed filter to enhance the background a little bit. And that's about it for day 14, honey. Day 15 welcomes one of the killers, Ivor. And today was another redraw over this image prompt drawing thing, because I kind of want to make more of them and I want to get used to drawing more of them. This image is based on the Alec Benjamin picture from his demo, I'm No Saint But. At the time of recording this, it's pretty recent, and I found the picture pretty goofy and funny, and I wanted to draw over it with this similarly goofy airheaded little guy. And I think this drawing has been pretty simple and easy. It helped me work on anatomy and foreshortening, which are two things I really needed to work on, and the perspective looks better, mostly because I traced over it. I'd love to find more references in the future that challenges me in this area with anatomy and proportion. And finally, I didn't put any shading, just for fun, and I adjusted the bucket tool a little bit to support the pen that I was using. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy with this result, and not only that, I think it supports Ivor's character pretty well. So here it is, day 15, Ivor. Now it is day 16 of the drawing challenge, and around this time I was really excited to start because I got to study one of my favorite artists' work, Sanda. Her stuff is amazing. A lot of it taking inspiration from one of the characters, Kaiji, from Ultimate Survivor. She has great choice of colors. They're bright and clean, with grain filters to enhance the colored illustrations and manga filters to enhance non-colored illustrations. And there's bold pen outlines with some jitter to give it a bit of art timbre, if you want to put it that way. And the shadows are super clean, everything is super clean, and it's just so pleasing to look at. Another thing that I found kind of funny is that the canvas sizes end on non 5 multiples, so it's not going to end on a 5 or a 0, and I found this a bit strange, but I was going to use it. They're all so inspiring to look at, especially at this piece, or especially this piece that inspired today's OC for the drawing challenge, aka Jack Danger. It's also combined with a value test, so I'm not using any colors. I'm using a digital pen instead, with some jitter adjustments to match the observations that I found from Sanda's works. And I added a lot of loose scratch lines to help give an illusion of a gradient rather than a full-on blend. And I used some white highlights, like the highlights in some of her other pieces, and the border around the subject using a stroke filter to emphasize the Jack Danger that you see in front of you. The eyes and perspective especially were tricky, but I had to search up some online photo references that surprisingly helped. When I finished the piece, I realized that I forgot Jack Danger's other shuck and the metal chain for the shuck he's holding. Yes, that is a shuck. But I think he'll be fine without it. I enjoyed this piece, and I enjoyed making this thoroughly. It was so much fun to take apart Sanda's works. And Sanda, I hope that you liked this piece. It was really fun. So here it is, day 16, Jack Danger. Day 17 is another small drawing doodle prompt. Originally, I was going to study a photo reference because I wanted to improve on my poses and copying from references, but I kind of ran out of time and I was also in the mood for a smaller scale drawing, so I opted for a doodle instead, which was kind of similar to the Chi drawing a while back, but I still think I was able to implement that drawing reference prompt. That's about it for day 17. Here it is for Jorter. The final day for week 3. Week 3 is for Kachi. Ta-da! Again, it is another quick doodle and redraw over this image slash meme picture. I got a lot of these this week, actually. What a coincidence. And this time it's based on this Marius Big Head picture from Tears of Themis. I have no clue where I found it, but I've saved it and have wanted to draw over it ever since. It's a pretty fun drawing. It's also my first time drawing Kachi in general, so it was a struggle. I am glad to work on the back perspective again from the first day, and the reference definitely helped in the construction of the back perspective. And I think it shows some improvement. I personally like it. I didn't work on shading as much this week, and next week I would love to work on shading, especially the one of the hair next time. These drawings were relatively quicker, but I feel like I was able to work more on my proportions and human anatomy, which is one of the big fundamentals that I have been struggling with a lot. And I'm really glad I got the opportunity to do that. That's it for week 3, and I hope that you enjoyed the video. I can't wait to see you all for week 4. Bye!